Welcome to episode 65 here on the Air Hug Community Podcast. Oh, hey, welcome. If you're new here, this is the Air Hug Community Podcast, and my name is Judy Arazosa. I am your host and virtual cheerleader. I would like to thank you for popping in and giving your time to a little listen here today. And just so you know, our goal here is to gear you up for a better day, a better week, a better month, and a better year. So here on the Air Hug Community, we focus on stories from guests and myself that touch on living well from your 20s all the way up until age 100. And let's not even limit it there. We cover all topics related to physical and emotional health. And a lot of the topics we cover are generated from Q&A sessions I have with my clients and also with conversations that I have with my BFFs on our walks that we love to take to stay connected. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Air Hug Community. Today, I am super excited. I know I say that a lot, but I'm really, really excited because our guest today is Katie Pitts. And Katie, I've been searching for you for over a year, and Katie is the owner and founder of Sleepwise Consulting. And you know, I talk a lot about not getting enough sleep and how important it is, but I have finally found an expert who can talk to us about this. So I'm super, super excited. So Katie started out in speech and hearing, and she has a dual master's degree in speech, language pathology, and educational administration. So she knows her stuff. She was trained in psychology and originally started, am I right, Katie, with pediatric sleep help or sleep help in infants and children. And then you expanded into adults, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay. So welcome. And I'm going to let you take it from here. Tell us why you got into this.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I love to talk about sleep. And even more so, I love to talk about the better life that comes with sleep and how it enables you to really live your best self. So almost exactly 7 years ago, my first child was born. I am a very type A person. I mean, the nursery was ready, clothes were hung up 3 months in advance, which was a good thing because he came 7 weeks early.
Oh my gosh.
And having that significant of a preemie really kind of threw us a little bit. And what we thought we knew, we had to really adjust. Well, fast forward for 3 months later, he was doing really well, but he was never sleeping. And when I say never sleeping, I mean every 45 minutes throughout the entire night, he would be awake. My husband would wake up and he'd find me crying and holding this baby. And I kid you not, and I tell this story often in case it relates to anybody, because I want them to know there is another side. I looked up adoption agencies because I thought I made a mistake. I can't be a mother.
Oh my gosh.
I need someone to take my child. And what a terrible feeling, right? And so one morning, it was my rock bottom morning, and I woke up and I said, that's it. Enough is enough. There has to be a better way. And so through lots of research, I put some things together and said, you know what, I'm going to try this. And it worked. And it worked beautifully. And it was something that I was comfortable with. And in one, maybe 2 nights, not only was I a different person, but my child was a different child because he was getting the sleep he needed. And from there, I thought people have to know about this. They have to know that there's a better way. And so 6.5 years ago, I started Sleepwise Consulting. And in the past 6.5 years, we have individually one-on-one, we pride ourselves on our one-on-one personalized support with children. We have helped over 5,000 families get a better sleep. And we are now a team of over 45 women. And as you mentioned, 4 years ago, I branched into adult sleep a little bit. I found that once we got children sleeping well, parents thought that they would just automatically start sleeping better, but they weren't. And they were saying, what about me? What tips do you have for me? And so I went and became certified in adult sleep. And for the past 4 years, we've also been doing that. And I've just been astounded with the transformation that we are able to help people make without melatonin, without sleeping pills, and just making some behavior tweaks to their sleep hygiene can make a world of a difference.
That is just amazing. And can I tell you, I talk to people all the time. And for some reason, and I love this because I know you posted this, people seem to think that tired or lack of sleep or getting by on 5 hours sleep is a badge of honor. And I have never thought that. Like I was always the kid who could like fall asleep at a pajama party. But like I value sleep,
Yeah.
always have valued sleep. And I think now people are starting to value sleep, but they don't know how to do it. And so cue up Katie here.
Yeah, 100%. That actually started Sleep is for the Weak started with the Industrial Revolution. And we've been trying to really erase what that has done for years and years. And the statistics about a lack of sleep deprivation, and what it can do I think there's over 17,000 well scrutinized research studies. I mean, it's phenomenal when you really look into it on how big of an impact sleep deprivation has on our society.
It's amazing. Yeah. Just thinking about, I know when my husband is a physician, and when he started training, he trained in New York State. We live in New York State. There were no laws. And he was expected to stay awake for 36 hours at a time and do it every 3 days. And I don't even know how he drove home on those days,
That's
and
scary,
there were,
right?
yeah, it was really scary. And at least the laws have gotten better. But speaking of that, let's get into some of the consequences of lack of sleep, chronic lack
Mhm.
of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't even know where to start because there's just so many. But really, as far, speaking of driving home and accidents, there's 1.2 million accidents caused by sleepiness each year. Vehicle
Wow.
accidents caused by drowsy driving exceed those caused by alcohol and drugs combined. And we always hear about, like drunk driving and all of that. And I mean, it blows it out of the water.
That's amazing. And I've kind of always wondered about that. Just because like staying awake, it's like people, if we haven't figured that out, like not only are we putting ourselves at risk, we're putting everyone else at risk. Yikes.
Yes.
So can you help us to understand a little bit about, and what do we need to know about the different kinds of sleep? Like I know there's REM sleep and light sleep and deep sleep. Like what should we know about those?
Um, Everything or nothing, really, depending on the kind of person you are. Here's what I see happen a lot. People get very fixated on their trackers that they buy to help them track their sleep, right? And I got this much REM sleep, and I was in red here, and this and this, and that's all great information. But what that does is it produces anxiety around sleep. And so, yes, there's 4 stages of sleep, and yes, there's REM and non-REM sleep, and they all do different things, and they're all important. But what people should focus on is just simplifying it, knowing the value of sleep, prioritizing sleep, and then assessing in the morning when you wake up, what do I feel like? What does my body feel like? Am I tired and sluggish? That's how you know whether you got enough sleep or not whether this device tells you, because once again, they're great for information, but they're just not accurate with what we need to know.
That is really very refreshing. Because I know some of us can get so fixated on our devices, and I could be one of those people. And sometimes I just take a step back, like you said, and I'm like, well, how do I feel?
Yeah.
Did I wake up annoyed, or do I want to like spring out of bed? So I'm so glad to know that. Not that I'm going to put my device away because it fascinates me, but I'm
Mhm.
not going to worry about it. Or like if the battery doesn't charge that night, whatever. So can you answer an alcohol question?
Of course.
Okay, so I think probably a lot of people want to know, and maybe they feel that it's different, but I'm just going to put it out there. How about you just tell us the effects of alcohol on getting a good night's sleep?
Alcohol is a tricky one because many people will say they have, a bottle of beer or a glass of wine at night, and that helps them wind down and that helps them fall asleep, which, yeah, it's true. But what it does to your body and to your system is it'll help you fall asleep faster, but you're likely going to have wakings in the night due to your system working hard to get rid of that alcohol. Typically, 4 hours after you fall asleep, you'll find yourself awake and having a really hard time falling back asleep. Or you're not getting refreshing sleep. You're getting junk sleep. And speaking of REM and non-REM sleep, alcohol is the biggest suppressor of REM sleep that we know. So if you want to guarantee you're not going to have REM sleep, have a lot of those drinks before bed. Now, I don't want to be like the womp womp womp. So you still can have those drinks at night, but here's the key to getting a good night's sleep. You want to make sure that your blood alcohol level is at a 0 before bed. So if you feel like you need, or you want that glass of wine, have it 1 hour before you go to bed at night, and then you're going to be safe and that's not going to impact your sleep.
Oh, that's really interesting. Because I've heard a couple of different people I've talked to have said, happy hour is best, or, go ahead and do like your mimosas at brunch, but don't drink later. I'm like, but like on date night, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. People like that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you don't have to choose. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing, black or white, but just change the timing of it. And that's what we do a lot with our adult clients. We don't put them on strict diets. We're not putting on in this insane exercise routine. We're not asking them to change everything, but we're looking at what they're doing. We're saying, is there different timing? Is there a different way? Is there something that you can add? Normally it is just something adding or changing timing that can significantly impact sleep.
That's speaking of that. You had a post about 3 tips for better sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that? I'm going a little out of order, but it was a
That's
great
okay.
segue into that.
Yeah. Do you want to, I'm not exactly familiar with the exact things I said, but if you wanted to give me the highlight, I can dive into them.
I will give you the refresher, and I'm sure you're going to pop right up. You talked about freshening your bedroom.
Mhm.
And then you talked about sticking to a routine and curbing caffeine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So bedroom environment. I always talk with our clients, asking them if they remember. Many of us remember when we're in like first, second grade, and it's the middle of the year, and the teacher decides to redo the rooms. You organize the desks differently. We're all pulling our desks different places, and it's like, yes, this is so exciting. It's like a brand new year, and it feels fresh and new. That's what you want to do with your bedroom environment. Because if you struggle with sleep, whether you realize it or not, your bedroom environment is a place that feels negative to you and stressful. And so you want to give it a fresh look, whether you move your bed or not, whether you just add a new blanket, whether you bring in fresh flowers, hang up a picture, get a new lamp, just changing it a little bit can really help if you're wanting to make effort towards your bedtime routine. What are you going for? You do want it to feel like a cave. You want it to feel cool, and you want it to be dark, and then also feel like that sanctuary to you. So don't underestimate that simple thing that you can do that can really help with your bedroom.
Yeah, like putting away our laundry.
Like putting away laundry, not having it a place of clutter. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that. And then how about bedroom routine
Yeah,
or bedtime? Sorry.
bedtime routine is significantly important. If any of your listeners have small children, they're going to know, like, yes, my kids have to have that routine to go to sleep at night. Adults are the same. It cues our brain and body. Sleep is coming. It's time to settle and prepare. We all would spend hours getting ready for like this great hot date. But when it comes to sleep, we expect to just flip a switch, go into bed and fall asleep. And we just don't work that way. And so really take the hour before bed and make it all about you. Rarely are we focusing on ourselves, treating ourselves, giving ourselves that time to do what we need. Use that hour before bed to do that, with reading, with a bath, with a walk, playing a game with your partner, anything there. Trying, bonus tip, to stay as much away from screens as you possibly can. We are in a world where I think 90% of people fall asleep to TV, and that can really impact your sleep. But doing something that really feels like a treat, that's probably, if you hear nothing else from what I'm saying, the biggest thing that you can do tonight to help improve your sleep.
Oh, I like that. I'm all about routines. Okay, let's talk about caffeine.
Yeah. So caffeine, we all know those people that can have a cup of coffee after dinner and say like, oh, that doesn't impact me. Where I'm like, I can't drink any kind of caffeine after 1 p.m. or that's going to impact my sleep. Everyone metabolizes caffeine differently. So everyone's going to have to experiment with this to see what works for you. But our general rule of thumb is you want to cut out caffeine completely 8 hours before bedtime, so your body has completely gotten rid of it and it's not impacting your sleep.
Okay, super. Yeah, I used to think I could have caffeine at night, but then, I cut it off at 3, then noon. Now I'm like, I can have a second cup in the mid morning and I'm done. But anyway, just personal.
Yeah.
All right. There was one other thing, 2 things I wanted to ask you about. One is, let's say you do all that and you get in bed and you've got what I call monkey brain. That brain, you
Yes.
just can't turn it off.
Mhm. So incredibly common. It's either that, or you fall asleep well, you wake up in the middle of the night, you start thinking, or a combination of both. I think that there's a quote that like bedtime is the best time to forget all the things that we were supposed to do that, or to remember all the things we were supposed to do that day. And so what you want to do is focus your mind on something so that the wheels aren't spinning. Because if you start thinking about things you forgot to do, if you start thinking about anything stressful, what's going to happen? Your body's natural response, cortisol. Cortisol is going to flood into your body. Cortisol is great. Cortisol gets a bad rap. Cortisol is a good thing, but not at bedtime. You want that natural melatonin, not supplemental melatonin. You want that natural melatonin coming into your body. And so thinking of calm things, some people find saying prayers is helpful. Some people find doing some sort of meditation is helpful. Some people find doing some sort of breathing activity, deep breathing, anything like that. And really focusing on that can help people drift off to sleep a lot better.
That's really interesting. Wow. No wonder we always had to say prayers when I was little. I think
Right?
my mother, I think, was so much wiser than she was given credit for. She was way before her years, I think, or beyond.
I feel
I
the
don't know.
same. My mom would say to say, I can't fall asleep. Well, it will say about 50 Hail Marys and 2 Hail Marys in. See
Be
ya.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then does it matter? Is it important whether we try to sleep in like positions, back, belly, side?
Yeah, great question. And not necessarily. Every person is different. What I recommend with that is that you have a pillow that supports your preferred sleeping position. Like there's different pillows for like stomach sleepers versus side sleepers, but it just experimenting with what you're comfortable with it is okay.
All right. So it doesn't matter. And what about like being restless all night? Like, is that, say you didn't have caffeine and you didn't have alcohol, are some people just more restless than others, or?
Yeah, some people absolutely are. It probably means you're not getting into as much REM sleep. With REM sleep, you have what's called an atonia, which is basically it causes you not to like physically act out your dreams with your body. Some people who don't have that, it can be a very serious thing. And I'm not talking restless there. I'm talking like you're getting up, you're hitting, you're feeling very aggressive. But it likely means that. And so what we do with our clients is we look into what's causing that. Why are you restless? Some people are going to be more restless than others, absolutely. But if you're really restless, there's probably something going on. Back to my bonus tip, which is back to the most important thing you can do: A lot of times it's the amount of blue light and screens that have come into your eyes
Oh,
throughout the day or right before bed. Watching TV right before bed is a great way to get a really restless night of sleep.
very interesting. And some people think they can't fall asleep without the TV. What about the ink and Kindles? Is that blue light or is that safer?
It's better than like a TV, but we really recommend like the hour before bed that you're going back to like a regular old book.
Paper.
Some people will even say like, well, what can I wear? Blue blockers? And you absolutely can. Not all blue blockers are created equal, but it depends on how significant your sleep struggles are. For some people, that's going to work. And for others, it's not. And you might have to do a little bit more.
So just have to kind of play it out.
Mhm.
Wow, this has been super, super helpful. And I know you're actually going to be launching an adult sleep course. Is that, I'm not using the
Yes.
right words? Tell me about it.
Yes, we are so excited to have that coming out. It's basically going to be a course that you can purchase and you can work your way through all of the modules where we dive into these different aspects of sleep. How does caffeine impact your sleep? What about nutrition? What can you add? How is movement important? What about sunlight? What about all of these things so that you can get on your way to sleeping better? And so that is coming out. You can pre-order it now, and then that will be coming out within a week or two. So stay tuned for that. And we also have fantastic women on our team that are certified in adult sleep. And some people just say, I need someone to hold my hand. I need someone to help me feel accountable. Kind of like if you go to a gym and you work with a personal trainer. We do that as well. And just the results that we see and the testimonials that we get are really powerful too. So there's always options. I say it for my parents and I say it for my adults. Don't suffer with sleep deprivation because you don't have to. There are answers out there that don't require sleeping pills or other drastic measures. There's simple, easy things that you can do to make changes and they work.
Wow, that is so, to me, that's so very exciting. So exciting because, like I said, I love my rest. And just so people know, you will be launching an adult course, but you started out with as a pediatric specialist. So you have people on your team who do both.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. We basically we can help with sleep across the ages from newborn to toddler to child to teenagers, because there's a lot of interesting sleep that happens at the adolescent ages. To adults, to seniors. We can help across the board. We have people certified in all areas. All you have to do, if you're not sure, reach out. We offer free calls to everybody to figure out, do I need help? What do you recommend? What do you think? We offer that to everybody, and we're happy to give you a really honest feedback and opinions.
That is fabulous. So I will put in the show notes your website and your Instagram so people can
Perfect.
find you and contact you as needed that way.
Perfect.
And watch out, people, because you're going to want to look at those things if you're interested in that adult sleep course. Yeah. So, Katie, thank you so much. This has been so valuable. And I have been waiting since the beginning of this podcast to find just the right sleep expert. And I'm so glad that we came across each other.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
My pleasure. Talk about necessity being the mother of invention. Yikes. Imagine having no sleep and being up every 45 minutes around the clock. Wow, Katie, I think we are all grateful that you figured that out and that you're sharing this message with the world. And I am super excited to share this with all of you. Thank you so much for listening. And you can find Katie on Instagram at Sleepwise Consulting. And you can find everything else about her in the bio right there. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I hope you all get a fabulous night's sleep, and I will see you back here next Tuesday on the Air Hug Community Podcast. Remember, to please go ahead and share this, especially with your sleep-deprived friends, because they are going to be super grateful that you did.